Welcome to the BBC.
Hello, everyone. I am your host from the BBC. Whatever you want that to stand for, you can make it stand for. It's Luba with beach waves in my hair. Those of you that are watching videos, because I am live from Largo, Florida. I have a very special guest with me today and a good personal friend of mine, Danica Spear from 5-Star Sitters. Hello, Danica.
Hi, everyone.
And let's be nice to her because this is Danica's first podcast.
Please.
But she's got a great voice, so this is going to be great. We're going to get tons of downloads. But not only because you have a great voice are we going to get tons of downloads, we're going to get tons of downloads because this, people, can affect you. This is a big story.
Absolutely.
That I wanted Danica to come on here and share with you. Those business owners that are currently taking payment processing, so debit, credit card, through a processing company, please listen up. You're going to want to hear the story because this is unbelievable. Danica, take it away. Where do you want to start?
I guess we'll start at the very beginning. So this was the week of August 27th. We were preparing for a huge event of ours that we do every year. We provide, so 5-Star Sitters, a little bit of background, I guess I should start with that. 5-Star Sitters is a childcare agency in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been open for over 11 years. We have our in-home services side, which is where we offer on-call babysitting as well as part-time and full-time nannies. And then we also have our downtown Summerlin Play Place side. Which is a state licensed childcare accommodations facility where kiddos can be with us for up to 5 hours. And we are licensed for ages 3 months to 11 years old. So we are in the business of helping parents and helping families and making their lives a little bit easier, taking the stress and hassle away from parents for having to vet care providers and find trustworthy, reliable care, but also providing flexible options. You know, if you just need to drop them off while you go shopping, you can do our downtown Summerlin Play Place, or if you're looking for a date night or you have to work, but your schedule varies, that's what we have our in-home services for. So the week of August 27th, one of the other parts of our business that we absolutely love to do is childcare for special events and conventions here in Las Vegas. And this was our second year working with this specific organization. We were providing childcare for up to 50 kiddos for 3 days. So huge event. Luba, as you know, preparing for conventions is not easy. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of prep work. And genuinely, we thought starting out that week that the hardest thing about that week was going to be getting through the childcare event. For me personally, being a single mom, it was being away from my little one for 5 days as she went down to grandma and grandpa's so that I could just focus on this event. Tuesday, August 27th, it's the day before. We are about to go in for setup and we're about to head out to grandma and grandpa's to drop the little one off. And we start receiving emails from our payment processing company. $100 charge, $100 charge, $100 charge, $100 charge. And immediately my business partner, Celine, rushes home from up the street at the gas station as I'm quickly getting ready to, and we start getting these emails and she immediately gets on the phone with our payment processing company and is like, help, something is going on. At this point, we have maybe 50 to 100 emails, one right after the other of payments going through. And when we're logged into our system, we can see these payments are going through. Now, obviously, although we would love to, we do not do that many transactions in a span of 20 minutes. So obviously, we were like, oh my gosh, we've gotten hacked. So our payment processing company is working and they said refund all the transactions. And they're working on the back end trying to think, figure things out. And we're saying, can you please just shut it down? Shut down our account, like stop our account. We don't know what's going on. And at this point in time, so although we got on the phone with them within, I believe it was 21 minutes of this starting, within 45 minutes, they were able to stop it. And during that 45 minutes, they successfully charged over $50,000 in transactions. So we start getting phone calls from people because obviously people are being notified by their cards. And, we're telling them, oh, we're so sorry. We've refunded the transactions. Don't worry. It'll go through, while we're on the phone with technical support. And technical support is saying, it's okay. We'll figure it out. No problem. Just refund all those transactions. Okay, great. So 45 minutes in, it stopped. They're working on it on the back end. They said, we can't automatically shut down your account. This we have to escalate to a special investigations team. And this can take 24 to 48 hours to process shutting down your account. Now know that, there should be a stop button, right? So at the same time, we are getting in touch with our web development team and our app company saying, hey, this has happened. Did this happen? Like, we're not getting any emails from our website, which whenever a client processes a transaction through our website, we get an email from our website and from our payment processing company. So we get dual email notifications. And this was just to safeguard everything, to make sure that we knew who was purchasing, we knew when those purchases were going through, just kind of like doubling up. It might seem excessive, but we just always had that. And our payment processing balance, which we always keep a balance in there because the way our on-call system works is payments pay the care providers, parents, clients pay the care providers. We automatically transfer that money to our care providers while the payment is still settling. And so we always keep a balance in our payment processing system. It's called our balance in there. So we're seeing that balance go up. Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing it drop down, obviously, because we processed all those refunds. And what the payment processing company is telling us, don't worry, it'll settle out. It'll settle out. The credit card transactions just have to go through. It'll settle out. It's fine. Whatever it might be. Okay, so we go about our day. We've refunded everyone. We're answering phone calls from people, letting them know we've refunded them. And we think that everything is okay and the payment processing company is handling it and we're good to go. To later on that night, we check in. Everything is still wonky in our balance, but we're like, again, it's okay. We've got the payment processing company working on it. Our tech team is working on it just to make sure everything's okay. No big deal. Everything's fine. We wake up the next morning. We have about a 10-hour day plan setting up our conference room with all these activities for these kids. At 7:30 in the morning, the transactions start again, this time for $49.99. We immediately get on the phone with our payment processing company again. Mind you, I should say, this is a big payment processing company. This is a very well-known payment processing company. We're not talking some little company by any means, right? And so it's $49.99 going through. We get on the phone with them. They're able to stop it. About 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, it's $29.99, then $19.99. And every time we call them, it stops, but then it starts back up. And again, we're just telling them, please shut it down. Please shut it down. Just shut down the ability to do this, right? And on the other side of things, our development team is working on disconnecting everything so that no payments can go through our website. But they're saying, we're not seeing anything going through your website. It's not going through your website. It's going through our payment processing side. So the next day is spent. First, about 5 hours of the day is just every 30 or 45 minutes, we're on the phone with the payment processing company. Now, during this time, we also see that because all of a sudden we woke up that morning, Wednesday morning, the 28th, to a negative balance in our payment processing. So now we're at like negative $45,000, something like that. Now I should note that we did have in that balance from the payments we had already processed and what we always keep in there, we had close to $7,000 in that balance, right? So we refunded everyone. Now we're at negative 45,000 and some change. And again, they're telling us on the phone, don't worry about it. It's okay. Like, we're figuring this out. It's escalated to the special investigations team. We're like, okay, we want to speak with someone from special investigations. They don't have phones. Okay, we want to speak with a supervisor. Okay, well, we'll have to have a supervisor call you back. No, I'll wait on hold. No, ma'am, that's not how it works. We have to have a supervisor call you back. Okay. Then I look, and this is around 11 a.m. Again, we're at property. We're setting up for this event. We've got team members there helping us set up for this event. And I look and I'm like, they are trying to withdraw money from our bank account. So the payment processing automatically set up a withdrawal from our bank account. So I call them about that. And I say, hey, I see you're trying to add money to our balance to take care of these refunds. You told us not to worry about it, that it would all settle out. But you're trying to withdraw two things. One, a withdrawal for over $45,000, and another withdrawal, $30,000, or what they like to call a top up, to add a balance to your balance in this payment processing system. Yeah, don't worry about it. Again, I was told, don't worry about it. That won't actually go through. It was just automatic. It's fine. I'm like, well, I'm letting you know what you guys are trying to withdraw from my business bank account is not in there, so it will not work. And so we're just sitting there flabbergasted, right? So we can't talk to a supervisor. We can't talk to the special investigations team. They're telling us everything is okay, like, whatever it might be. And we're like, no, everything is not okay. We're getting calls from people that are livid. People are like, you overdrew my bank account. I'm trying to get groceries for my family and I got charged twice and it overdrew my bank account. And we're just heartbroken, right? Because we understand how expensive it is to have kids. And the fact that our name was tied to this is just heartbreaking. And we've processed all the refunds. So technically, because we processed the refunds right away, it should have just dropped off of their account, right? Not the case. So throughout the day, our tech team is telling us, we'll get this disconnected, but it's not coming through your website. We're not sure how it's happening. The payment processing team is telling us, the payment processing company is telling us it's been escalated. Okay, great. I'm having a bit of a panic attack while setting up for this event. We don't know where to go from here, right? We're looking at over $75,000 that this very prominent payment processing company is trying to take from us when obviously our account was hacked.
And here's the thing, I just want to interject really quick.
Yeah.
When that money was charged to the customers, it never deposited or hit your account. That money was just floating.
It was floating in our balance, in our payment processing, but it never hit our bank account.
So you never collected any money for this.
No.
So someone somewhere has found a way to collect this money. We don't know where that is or who this is. Okay,
Absolutely.
I just want to make that really clear for the listeners.
Yes, at this point in time, not one dime has hit our bank account, and they are attempting to withdraw the money to cover all of this.
So even though this, I just want to make it really clear for our listeners. So even though they attempt or they charged your customers' credit cards, they put it in this balance, which doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of sits there. They say everything's okay because it'll just cancel out after you process the refund. But now they're coming after you in your account for this like over $50,000 to debit your account for these refunds.
Yes, for the refund. Because when we woke up then on Wednesday morning, our balance, we'll call it the balance bank account, if that's what you want to imagine it as, right? Because we have to actually go in and manually process any deposit from our payment processing system to actually make it hit our bank account. If we don't go in and manually process those deposits, that money just stays in our balance account. We'll call it the balance account.
So those of you listening that maybe don't take a payment processing or don't deal with payment processing, this would be similar to like if you had a Venmo account or a Venmo or PayPal or Apple
Yeah,
So it just kind of sits.
it
So
just
what
sits
we're trying to
there.
explain, it just sits in that account, right? Until it's
Correct.
transferred into yours. So, okay,
Correct. Yeah.
go on.
Until we initiate the transfer. Wednesday morning, we wake up and now that balance account is negative $45,000. Again, we're being told, no, it should have just like evened itself out, right? But it's negative. And we've processed all the refunds. Now, what we're seeing though is a lot of the refunds are sitting there in pending or processing status. They're not going through. And so again, we're being told like, it's okay. It's with the special investigations team. So move forward to Wednesday night. Celine and I are obviously beside ourselves, and let me back up 1 second. What I should also say is we are getting calls from people that are like, I haven't used your services in 6 or 7 years. I haven't used your services in 8 years. I haven't used your services ever. Ever. I have not used your services ever. So
And I think this is a good time to interject too. Sorry, Danica, but
no, you're fine.
one of the first questions I asked you when you called me to tell me about this was, do you keep any credit card information on file?
We don't. Oh,
Okay.
And we launched our new system and our new mobile app in April of 2021. So these clients that have not used our services in 8 years, we're on a completely different system. But no, we do not store card information on file in our system. So again, we're sitting there like, how are these people being charged with our name and they've never used our services? That means they aren't even in our client database, right? So, and at this point, Wednesday afternoon, just so you know, it's going kind of back and forth at this point. Our developers are saying, no, this isn't going through the website. And Stripe is saying, well, no, this had to go through your website, which is why we're also at the same time shutting everything down, like trying to shut everything down payment processing wise and trying to get it all figured out. So Wednesday night we get home. It actually took us over 12 hours to set up. Self and Celine get home and she is the FBI when it comes to like going through everything, right? And all of a sudden it's like 10 o'clock at night. Again, we're sitting here like we don't even know who to talk to about this. We think we've talked to everyone we need to talk to. We think, okay, the special investigations team is on it. No problem. Like, then we've got our tech team. They got everything shut down payment processing wise. Like, they disconnected from our website. Like, we're just doing things by hand at this point, right? Old school
And
style.
you must have felt relief when people were calling you saying, I've never heard of you or used your services before, but you charged me. Like there had to be some relief there that like, this is not us. This is not our website.
Yeah.
This is not like, this is clearly a breach in that
Correct.
processing company system.
Correct. Yeah. And so going back, we are all of a sudden, Celine is like, wait a second. There are fake connected accounts. So the way our care providers, so let me back up and explain what connected accounts are. The way our care providers are paid is basically they have an account, a connected account, and they have an account that is connected to our main account. And that is how the money transfers through. And then it transfers through to their bank accounts. And that's how the payment processing system works. So every time they get paid, automatically transfers to their attached account, to our, like a sub account, basically a sub account of our main payment processing account. And similar to, again, like a Venmo account, except all of our care providers have their it's set up as automatic 2-day rolling deposit for every single one of them. So whatever is in there, when it batches, every 2 days they get a deposit. So they have, like, basically, to explain it a little bit better, is they all have sub Venmo or PayPal accounts that these amounts are processed into. They do not have to initiate the transfer. It automatically goes into there. So in these sub accounts,
It's like a direct deposit for them.
similar. Yes. So we find, I think at the time it was seven fake accounts of people that are not care providers of ours. And it was 7 or 8. And this is Wednesday night. So this is August 28th, Wednesday night. And we look at their balances because when you're on our main sheet of all the connected accounts, we can see the balance of everything that's been paid out. And 2 of these connected accounts both have payment deposits of over $25,000. So we click on them and we're looking at these instant payouts. So somehow these people, these sub accounts, processed all these transactions and instantly paid themselves out. Now, I'll come back to the instant part because that was an interesting development in all of this. So instant payouts is they do not have to wait 2 days for everything to batch through. They instantly get the money once they initiate those instant payouts. So we're looking at amounts 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, all the way up to 2 of them. Then there's another one that's like a few thousand. Then there's another one that's a few hundred. And we're just sitting there like, what is going on? Like, so we immediately call back our payment processing company. And well, Celine does. And Celine's like, I just found these accounts. They're like, yeah, okay. Well, don't worry. See, it says payments paused on them. So don't worry about it. The payments have been paused there. And we're like, okay, but this is where the money went. Don't worry. Don't worry. We want to speak with a supervisor. Now, what I do have to say is about halfway through on Wednesday, it got to the point where we were calling so much that they pretty much told Celine, we have this escalated to a special investigations team. Like, in not so many words, they were like, you need to stop calling. Like, we are working on it. You need to stop calling is basically what they told her. Like, we have your case number. We understand what's going on. We need you, like, we're working on it. And I should note that that's an interesting part too, that I'll get back to. So sitting there and we're like, we're bringing this up to the people. Now, it's interesting to note that finally Wednesday night, we speak with someone and he begins to be frustrated because he's not getting any updates. And he's like, not frustrated
From
with us.
From the
Frustrated
payment
with
processing company?
Yes. He is the customer service representative that we talked to. He's like, I don't understand why they don't have any internal updates on this. I don't understand why there's no internal update. And he's like, I understand. Hold please. Like, because he's getting frustrated. He's like, this doesn't make sense. Why it's been over 24 hours. And we're like, why aren't things shut down? And he's like, well, that does take 24 to 48 hours for the special investigation team. But at this point, it's been over 24 hours, right? It's been closer to 36 hours.
So is there any way that you could have shut it down on your end? Disconnect from them at all? So
well,
they had
we
to
had
do
already
the disconnection.
from these, well, what we thought, right?
Okay. And then one
What
other
we thought.
question. When you found these fake accounts that were connected, who would be able to add those accounts?
So technically, they're doing it through our website. They would have to have been added by us as an administrator as a sitter. They were not located in our website whatsoever.
So do you feel that this is like an internal job on the payment processing company?
The information we're getting is that it must have been a leaked API key somewhere. Now, I don't even know how you leak an API key. Until this situation occurred, I wouldn't even know where to look up an API key. But apparently, in the tech world, this is very common that API keys can be leaked. And API keys are like master keys. Now, that's what they're saying, is that somehow this happened. However, some things are just not adding up. For example, The instant transfers that I brought up earlier, they were not initiated until beginning at 5:33 p.m. on August 27th. So over 6 hours passed when we first started contacting our payment processing. So those are instant transfers. Let me back up. Those instant transfers were not initiated. Those instant payouts to those fake accounts were not initiated until 5:33 p.m. in our payment processing. That is about 6 or more hours after we initially reached out to our payment processing company to tell them this was going on. So had they just shut things down, right, that money would have never gone to those instant payouts and those prepaid debit cards. And so from there, right, also trying to understand how are these people that have not used us for 8 years, 6 years, 7 years, that are like, I've gotten all new cards since I've used you guys. Like, how are you still charging me if I never used this card on your website or whatnot?
People that have never even heard of you that have been charged.
Exactly. So basically, through this, we found out that there is a way for these people, and as our tech team explained to us, the sophistication of this hack is not something that a normal person could do, or even a junior developer could do. The sophistication, the magnitude of this is big, because what we've now through it and talking to different people in tech is they basically obtained lists wherever they obtained these lists from of people's payment information, which we get it, right? All of us, if you shop online at all, your payment information is out there. And so they're like, basically what they did is they went through these lists and they masked the charges as your company name and ran it through. So no, these people never had to have used your services. Obviously, past clients of yours were on a different list, and that's how their new cards got charged or whatnot. So that's how it's kind of all being explained to us. That is how they are getting this done, basically, and that they basically wrote some sort of script to go through these lists at a rapid rate and just charge whatever they could charge. So in the time frame of August 27th through to finally on August 30th at 3:33 p.m., because they were still attempting. So every time they attempted charges and they were blocked or failed, we would end up contacting as well. So we're talking Tuesday morning through Friday morning. They successfully charged over $57,000 to past clients, current clients, and people that have never heard of us before or used our services. They attempted to charge, but these charges were blocked and failed, over $523,000.
Wow. So where does this sit right now, Danica? Because I know when we spoke, I mean, some people were so distraught that they were like, I can't buy groceries because you charge me. And you and your business partner, Celine, are literally taking money out of your own pocket and sending it to people to be like, I'm so sorry, here you go. So not only you didn't get any of this money, now you've refunded this money that Stripe is trying to take back out of your account that you never received in the first place. And now on top of that, you're taking money out of your own personal account to give back to people that are really throwing a fit and not understanding and not disputing on their end. Where does it sit currently? Where are you?
So currently we are being told by the payment processing company that we are responsible for this, we are responsible for paying them back. So currently, finally, we were told by our tech team to simply to start telling people to claim them as fraudulent charges and approve them, which the payment processing company did approve and say, hey, yes, that's what you should do. You should have them, all of these disputes, just accept these disputes. And I did bring up to them and I said, okay, well, what happens because you guys charge us a fee every time that we accept a dispute? And the guy said, well, that's a little bit above my pay grade, but, we have ways of figuring this out. And I should note too, during all these conversations, one of the customer service people even said, you're not the first person to go through this. And we have ways of resolving this. And we have ways of getting this money back. And so you're not the first person to go through this. And which is surprising because it's like, well, then why do you not have, better safeguards in place? Does that make sense? So where it stands now is a lot of those disputes we have, obviously all the disputes we have accepted. So people are starting to get their money back for those people that have disputed it. People that were in dire need, i.e. needing groceries, we send the money to it directly just because they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait and they shouldn't have.
That's money that you possibly will not get back.
We will probably never get that back. No. We have to obtain legal counsel in order to get us through this, because at this point in time, they are saying, well, the most recent communication we got from them is the communication we got on Sunday was that there was nothing they could do further and that we needed to bring our account current and pay back currently it's over $59,000 with all of the fees, and that there was just nothing more they could do. And then we just got a notice yesterday stating that if we don't pay that back by September 24th, they will exercise their right to come after us legally. And so at this moment in time, we still have people calling us that are just now seeing the charges, because I should note that because we don't have these updated, not all these people are in our current database. We are referring to people based off the last 4 digits of their card number.
Yeah. And if you don't know them, or who knows what's out there, right?
Right, exactly. And so we're taking every phone call, we're explaining it to them. We emailed all of our clients. We're continuing to email because some of those clients are saying, hey, I've got a new email address since I used you last. So we're continuing to just tell everyone, claim them as fraudulent charges. We will accept that and we will take it up with the payment processing. We're devastated. It has crippled our business. We are doing things by hand right now. And because our website does not currently completely work the way it's used to, we are losing about $2,000 a week in just that side of our business. If not more, because people are not using our website because they're frustrated. Some of them that know us are calling through and we're doing it all by hand, but we can just see our numbers are plummeting. And on top of that, we're facing legal bills that we just were not prepared for. And obviously now we're facing this billion-dollar company that is telling us that we have to pay them back or they're going to sue us. So it's disheartening. It's hard. This is our dream. This is what we work so hard for. I mean, so hard for every single day. And being a small business is hard enough as it is. And we made it through the pandemic. And, there's been a lot of twists and turns in our journey. But to now be faced with this, we just don't even know how to navigate it. So that's where we're at. And I guess the advice and the reason why I want to get this out is because we never imagined that we would be victims of this, because we are victims too. And we never imagined that this large company that we have been using for years to process our payments, and they take fees and everything like that, just would not support us in something that is obviously happening in our account. And to just say, there's nothing we can do,
that it's going to be okay. Like, oh, it'll be handled. Don't worry. It'll be handled. It'll be okay. Like, you trust,
absolutely. You put your trust. But I don't have someone sitting in my office on staff because I can't afford it to pay an inside tech person, right? I don't have my own payment processing company that processes all of these payments. And so you trust as a small business, just like you trust your insurance agent because they're the experts in this. You trust your bank because they are the experts in this. You trust your payment processing company because they are the experts in this.
And one of the things that I said, Danica, when you first told me about this was, well, go through your insurance. Like, your insurance should cover this. What did they say?
Nope. Because we did not have cyber insurance. I didn't even know we needed cyber insurance.
And now listen to this, you guys. So, I asked Danica the questions like, go through insurance. There's got to be insurance for this. It's got to be covered. Okay. They say no because she doesn't have cyber insurance. Then I ask her, okay, so you must be storing the credit cards on your computer somewhere, something, and that's why it's not covered, and that's why you need cyber insurance. She confirms, no, this is all through the processing company. We don't physically take the card number. It's all done through the portal on the system online, just like how you would shop online. So then call my insurance, because that's the way that my company is set up. We don't take a credit card. It's done through a system. And I am told that because we're not taking a credit card, we don't require cyber insurance. So do you see how there's like a complete breakdown on what do you do? Like, as a small business, what do you do? Because if you're being told you don't need this because you're not taking the credit card information, but then this huge company is saying, well, no, this is actually your fault and we're going to now sue you. You just don't win. And the people that lose in this are the small businesses, because it's the billion-dollar businesses that literally have lawyers on staff that can just be like, no, we're not going to pay this. And I said this to a business owner the other day, like, my $18,000 is the equivalent of your 1.8 million. So for this billion-dollar company, $56,000 or $59,000 for Danica is, for them, 56 cents. Like, it really doesn't matter. And this is what crushes the economy and small businesses and the jobs that we create in the community, and how you can continue to support these, smaller mom and pop shops. This is why they're going away. It's too hard to do business. And if Danica wasn't the fighter that I know her to be, how many people would just walk from this and close their doors the next day and just be done?
That's been a conversation myself and Celine have had, is what do we do? What do we do? I mean, we've gone as far, we help people. We don't ask for help. We don't often ask for help, right? We help people. We help families. That's what we're set up to do. And I mean, we've gone as far as now setting up a GoFundMe because we don't know. And we want to be able to continue to support our company, or not our company, support our community and support our families that depend on us. They rely on us. And and we rely on our businesses, right? Like, I'm a single mom. I rely on the generated income we get to take care of my daughter. We don't have investors. We don't have, we're not backed by pocket. And so this is huge for us. And we've asked that. Like, what do we do? What do we do? And it's hard. Every day is hard. We don't know what we're going to be faced with next. We do think that we have found someone who has experience with this as a lawyer. And she said, this isn't the first time with this payment processing company that I've dealt with it. And that is something that is a little bit disheartening too, because if they've seen this happen before, which how we got referred to this lawyer is through a different podcast that Celine found online, of someone that in 2023 went through almost the same exact thing. So we reached out to her and she referred us to this lawyer. But if they know this is an issue, why are they not fixing it on their end? Why are they still continuing to allow it and then putting it back on the small businesses that wouldn't even know how to do this? My employees wouldn't do this. My employees wouldn't even know the first thing to go about writing a script and doing this as, sophisticated as they did this. So not that I would anyways, because I'm obviously that's not who I am as a person, but it's just so disheartening. It's so disheartening.
It's crazy too, is, I went online onto Reddit, love me some Reddit. There is so much about this company online and how they've done this to several small businesses, and their data breaches are insane. And back in the day, they were the safest company processing, credit card processing company that you could work with. Like, they are a huge, huge name. So, Danica,
I mean, we've used them for years.
I'm glad that you're asking for help in the sense of a GoFundMe, and that is to cover legal fees to now go against this billion-dollar company and try to fight to get this money.
And it's not just to cover our legal fees, it's to make those customers whole again, because we are doing our best. But again, we're losing money by the day, and we have limited resources to refund those people that need it or reimburse it. So it's really to make sure, no matter what, that we are getting those people that were impacted, make them whole again, and get this resolved in order for us to continue to operate and continue to, keep our staff on board and keep all of our care providers employed, because we have over 100 on-call care providers that they depend on our services too to make money, and to supplement their incomes. So, in order to just keep fighting another day, and so that's just our goal, is to hopefully get this resolved and to be able to continue to provide our services to our community and to the people who use us.
We're going to link it in the bio below. So if you guys want to skip out on your coffee today and help Danica in her GoFundMe, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Danica, we have to have you back on when this is done, resolved.
Yes.
I wish you all the best. I'm so sorry you're going through this.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, because this literally can happen to any of us that have a small business.
So make sure that, going through everything to protect yourself, because we thought we were, and obviously.
And don't believe them when they say, it's handled, we'll take care of it. Keep pushing, keep fighting, be that squeaky wheel, and pray.
Yeah,
pray.
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Check out the link below, you guys. Like I said, if you can just skip out on your coffee today and send over something, it would make a difference to make those customers whole again, and then help with some legal fees, and let's be a bully back to this big billion-dollar bully and see what we can come out with here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We definitely appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Till next week.
Bye.